My name is Anand. Thank you for the opportunity, Dina. We are Alt DRX. We are a very unique platform. We are creating the world's first digital real estate exchange. Quick introduction about myself. So I'm in my previous life half a banker, half a real estate person. About 10 years in ICICI in the treasury, in corporate banking, cross-border payments. Came back to India during the financial crisis in 2009. Was in New York, came back to India, didn't have a job, didn't know what to do, stumbled into real estate with a firm called Knight Frank. Got into real estate through that firm, then moved on to Bangalore, came here with a firm called Puravankara, listed real estate development firm. I was chief operating officer for the firm for about 7 years. So I have deep understanding of the real estate business, both on the cost side of the business as well as on the revenue side of the business. Did that for 7 years, should have quietly sat down there and counted my daily wages. Life would have been different, but I took a little detour and went to Dubai with a firm called Damac. Did the same thing, but for projects across the world. I was the managing director for the firm. Then midlife crisis hit me. I spoke to a few friends and looked like all of us were going through similar time during COVID. Just tapped my hands, came back to India early 21. Late 21 we kind of started off with Alt. Late 21 we raised a little bit of pre-seed and they set the ball rolling. That's my friend and colleague. We've known each other for almost 15 years. Avinash is half telecom, half real estate. I'll come about and talk about the team a little later, but I'll do take that opportunity. Just to give you guys a context, real estate is very easy to buy, very difficult to sell, right? You know, it's lumpy in nature. You know, if you have to sell real estate, you have to find somebody with very large check sizes to write in. You know, so we are basically solving illiquidity in real estate. How do you solve illiquidity in real estate? You create public markets, just like how you have public markets for capital markets like stock exchanges, National Stock Exchange. So you have for commodity stock exchange like an LME, London Metal Exchange, or an MCX or an NCDEX. Very strangely, real estate, which is a much larger class of assets, you know, it's larger than combined value of stocks and bonds, you know, but despite that, real estate has not gotten dematerialized, it's not become an exchange traded product. It continues to be done in the same way. Christ has come and gone, but we're still doing business the same way in real estate. So we are trying to make real estate into an OTC, exchange traded product, which would allow our users to buy, hold and sell real estate 1 square foot at a time. You know, that's the opportunity that we're working on. So let me tell you how we go about doing that. The very first side on the far right to me is a financial aspect of it. There's a lot of heavy lifting on the structuring side, the legal taxation side. The very first thing that we've done is to create a new financial instrument. In a stock exchange, shares get traded. In a commodity exchange, commodity future contracts get traded. So what the heck gets traded in a real estate exchange? So what we've done is to create a new financial instrument that captures the economic value of 1 square foot of real estate. The rights and obligations of that instrument in the absence of a licensing law in India, how that needs to sit within various laws is the first piece that is done. So let's say this building, 50,000 square foot building, I write 50,000 contracts. Each contract captures the economic value of 1 square foot, current value, future cash flows, terminal cash flow, which happens at the end of 25, 30 years, all that gets captured into the contract. Because the number of contracts that I write is equal to the size of the building. If you buy 1 contract, it's like buying 1 square foot. You know. That's the first part. The second part is the tech side, which is we've created a stock exchange-like technology platform where registered users, in a 60-second process, you can come register yourself, do your ID verification, link your bank account. You get a 3-in-1 account, like an equity brokerage account. You get a trading account, your trading ID, and you get 2 wallets. One wallet to store cash, which sits on an escrow, and the other wallet to store these digital assets. You know, so the moment that is done, you can come in and start trading in real estate 1 square foot at a time. We created a very interesting algorithm, a machine learning algorithm, which will price real estate on a real-time basis. For the very first time, you'll be able to value the real estate holdings that you have on a real-time basis. It will react to interest rate movements. It will react to yesterday's trading volume. So it's a very adaptive algorithm that is done. We are an all-in-one system today. We are National Stock Exchange. We are the custodians. We are the stockbroker. We are the guys who hold the customers. So there's a little bit of conflict that is involved. So our asset custodial service is written on the chain. As such, our tokens are not on-chain tokens for regulatory reasons, but all our custodial ledger balances are all written on the chain. You know, so that's the piece that we're doing, and this is the team that holds it all together. So because we are in real estate, you need to have various class of assets, So we have various CEOs who run the business. That's what we do.
All right. First question.
Sure.
If the property comes on this exchange, who holds the legal title?
So then there's an SPV that is created. The property title is held in a physical form by the SPV.
Right. Now, follow-on question. So I buy 1 square foot. I want to sell it a year later. I don't find a buyer. I sell it.
Yeah. So it's possible because our markets are going to be shallow in early days until user base kind of gets depth. So we have a loan against tokens model. So if you're not able to sell, we've created a market making capital pool that will give you a loan against the tokens that you hold.
Does it exist?
Yes, that's a pool that we are currently. So we are launching on August 15th. The very first time 1 square foot can be bought is 3 days from now. But once that is done, we'll have that.
Thank you. How many of the people in the team are on board for this? Because you mentioned about 7 founders and 2 founders and some advisors. So how many of them are actually on board, or how many are?
All but 2 are on board.
All were?
All but 2 are on board.
I mean, 100%?
100%, yes.
100%.
Rest are advisors. We most of them all of them on the deck have all bootstrapped the company. We all put in capital in early days, so everybody's skin is there in the game. But today I am not necessarily in a position where I can pay for their time completely. So once I have that ability, then I should be able to bring them on full
What's
time.
your business model?
Say that again.
How do you make money?
So we run on this model called tokenomics. So we are a manager of money, right, in some ways. But I don't do business the same way that you charge your customers. You might do a 220 kind of a fee structure, but that's not what we do. What we do is, if it's a 100,000 square foot building, 100 crores, let's say I mint 100,000 tokens, I reserve 10,000 tokens for myself, So that's part A of my tokenomics. So if it's a 100 crore building, if you have 100 crore AUM, your P&L will show 2 crores on year 1. My P&L will show 10 crores on year 1 because I hold the value of economics of the 10% of the tokens that are minted. Part B is the real estate generates rental, let's say. The 100 crore asset generates, let's say, 8 crores in rental income. I hold 10% of the asset, so which means I get 10% of that 8 million Indian rupees that it generates. That's another share of income. Third is the classical exchange model. I've minted 100,000 tokens in that asset. How many tokens get traded? The token velocity, So every time a token gets bought and sold on my platform, I make a fee. I make a 1% transaction fee, just like how a stockbroker or the exchange would make. Those are the 3 parts of my income. There are certain ancillary incomes, but these are the core.
Thank you. So you're tokenizing the real estate, you're not fractionalizing it.
We are tokenizing real estate, but we don't write the tokens on chain. Current ecosystem is for India, Indian assets, Indian bank accounts. We have an offshore platform that we are setting up right now for overseas assets. We are exploring 3 international jurisdictions. But for Indian regulatory reasons, our tokens are not on chain. We are off chain tokens. Only our ledger balances are on the chain.
So one real estate is 1 token, not one.
One square foot's financial value is 1 token.
Okay, so you are fractionalizing an entire big building or real estate.
Yeah, we cannot fractionalize. I can't transfer title of 1 square foot to you and another square foot to Dina. That's not possible anywhere in the world. But I can give you the financial value of 1 square foot to you and another square foot to him. So that's how it is.
So how do you secure actually the legal transaction and paperwork behind it? Do you have somebody in the team?
Yes, one of our stakeholders in our cap table is Country Stop Law Firm. They are in our cap table today, so they give us some depth. In addition to it, we do property due diligence in the form of 3-stage process: a title due diligence by a reputed law firm, a building due diligence to check whether the building is going to be okay. It should not crumble after we buy, right? So the building due diligence done by a firm like a JLL or a Knight Frank, and then a property valuation due diligence by an IBBI accredited valuer.
Last question for me. What if the SPV wants to sell the property and I want to pay my token up?
So there are triggers on reserve matters on when and how the SPV can sell the asset. So there are doomsday situation, asset is under danger, so you sell. There are windfall gain situation where the asset has already done a fantastic job, so you have those triggers. Those are triggers that come, regulatory actions, saying regulators forcing you to shut down the business. So these are all predefined parameters. But otherwise, the token is recorded in my system, in the SPV as a debt obligation. Okay, so that's how we are structured. The token is basically like a tradable, dematerialized bond in some way, issued by the SPV. So hence it has a maturity period. It has a 25-year maturity period that triggers the sale of assets.
One last question. On this model, what's the revenue?
We have not made a single rupee revenue on this model, but we are about $800,000 in revenue in the last 18-20 months.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.